Hello, this is Marc Stuart, Medium, doing my weekly Sunday broadcast with the help of my chair, my wife. Nobody's here yet, so I shall just do my usual and play in some music. Okay, I see our numbers have gone up slightly, and I see a lot of people are asking for messages. Just a very quick message, Barbie. I think you've got your button stuck on the return button because you've asked for the same message on my screen about 8 times. Maybe just check. Asking for it more than once doesn't increase your chances. I'll explain how it works, how we get the messages allocated in a few seconds. Everybody's got an equal chance. Now, you may notice that unusually I've put my or one of my website addresses along the bottom. There's a very specific reason for that. I have just done a major redesign of my website. This is just a quick shot of it, of the top of the home page. Don't worry, you've got my pretty face coming back. Just basically, it's gone through a redesign. If everybody would please have a look at it and give me some feedback, if you like it, if you don't like it, if you're familiar with the old one, I'm afraid it's gone. Everything's there. I used to have about 5 different websites. I'm trying to simplify it, have everything in the one website, make life a bit easier to get around. Okay, I've also been playing around with the videos. The music introduction, you'll see it's had a little bit of an editing to it, tried to make it a wee bit more musical for the introduction. I'm also going to introduce videos during the prayers for the people that don't want to close their hands. At least it gives them something to look at rather than my bald head when I'm doing a prayer. That's the theory anyway. Now, rules as to how we work. You don't see her, but my wife Ying is out in the hall. She is going through the comments because there's too many comments for me. It's okay, Barbara, I see your apologies, no problem. She takes the name of everybody that wants a reading. She puts it into what she calls her spiritual box with her little angel in it. I'm not joking, there's an angel in that box. She shakes it up and she takes the names out one at a time. Obviously, if you ask for a reading early, you go in first. If you ask for a reading at 5 to 9, it goes in at the very end. Everybody gets an equal chance every time she takes out a message. We do try to get around as many people as we can. You'll see from my style that my messages are very short. I try to keep them 2, 3, 4 minutes each so that we can get around as many people as possible. Don't ask any questions when you're looking for a message because I won't answer them. It's straightforward evidence of who the spirit is and a very quick message from them. I do ask for feedback, but please, when you give your feedback, don't give me yes, no, yes. So there's a time delay. It's different every week. I'm not very sure what the time delay is going to be this week. Last week we had it at 10 seconds, so that was good. There have been weeks where it's been as high as 45 seconds. So just to warn you, that is a problem with the way that I work. When I give evidence, I'm not asking you to give me more information. I'm just asking you to say, for the sake of argument, if I say a black and white dog that was lame, don't say yes, no, yes. Say yes, dog, no, black and white, yes, lame, so that I know what I've got right and what I've got wrong. That does work with the connection with spirit, because if spirit know that you're acknowledging it, they'll give me something else. If I get it wrong, I go back to spirit and ask for clarification to try and explain. Obviously, I must have misinterpreted it. Maybe it was you that was lame and not the dog. You see where I'm going. Okay, so that's about it. I am running the circle tonight. Anyone that's a regular knows that I do invite people to go to an open circle that I run after this. Starts at 9:30. If you want to come, you need to register at a website that I'll put up before the end. I'm not going to put it up until closer to the end, but you do need to go onto the website and register. You'll then get an email with the link to take you to Zoom. Now, you will get readings. You could get a reading in the circle as well from me, because I work in the circle as well, but there will be other people, and we'll be trying to teach you how to open up and give messages. If you've ever been to an open circle before, it's one visit only, and then you get invited to join my private circles. But if you want to come to the open circle tonight and you've not been before, you know what to do. The way this works, I'm going to very quickly do a quick prayer. I will then give you my spiritual message of the week, and then I'll get straight into readings. Now, people sometimes wonder, why do mediums give spiritual messages? Actually, it's a way of helping us to open up. It does actually give you time and helps you to open up to the other side. So, as I said, I'm going to put a short video up for anyone that's not 100% into having a prayer, but otherwise, please join me in prayer. Dear Father, Mother Spirit, thank you for coming to help us tonight. Please open the door to the other side. Please bring forward messages for people that need and want them. Please bring messages for the people. Please let the people get chosen that really need it, and help me to deliver those messages. Thank you. Amen. Okay, so spiritual message of the week. I'm going to talk about opening doors, but probably not the door that you're thinking of. We've had a problem in our house for many weeks. The toilet seat is loose and it keeps falling. Now, I work on a Sunday. I don't do mediumship all the time. I do business as well. So I work pretty busily. So my wife takes on many of the family duties that you would expect the butch hairy man to be doing. So she went out shopping today and she came back with a new toilet seat and she proudly installed it and announced to me and the world that we had a new toilet seat. Doors open all the time and you have to be aware and look for them. And the people opening those doors may not be the people that you expect to open the door. Obviously, the analogy with a toilet seat's maybe a bad example, but how many times in life have you met someone? Have you been quite insulting to them? Now, I'm saying this because this actually happened to me. This actually happened to me 2 years ago. I was doing some marketing for a website. Somebody got a mail shot I was doing, and he sent me an email back, very upset to have received the email, didn't want anything about it. Fine, okay, point taken. I never contacted him again. 2 years later, I saw the same person posting on Facebook. I'm not going to mention who he is, and I'm not going to say where, it doesn't matter. And he was basically putting up a long CV of all these skills, and it was humorous, but there was a lot of things in there that you wouldn't want to give to an employer. And he was basically saying, I'm trying to be honest. Here's me. Here's my positive. Here's my negative. Please give me some help. Give me some guidance, whatever. Okay. So I had a spare 10 minutes. I posted on. Nothing negative. I just basically went through it and said, right, well, change it. He was unhappy in what he was doing. He didn't have skills fit for an office. So I just pointed out the obvious. Okay, try retail. I didn't say try retail. I just said try something different. For example, retail. And there were a few other bits and pieces that I picked up. He went ballistic at me. Basically, I was giving him platitudes. I wasn't helping him. Blah, blah, blah. Now, I actually have 2 adverts for jobs for some of my businesses advertising. So I just went back to him straight and I said, look, you've got no idea who's reading this. You've got no idea who you're speaking to. I communicated with you 2 years ago. You've probably forgotten it. And you're using the same attitude towards me now that you did then. And I could be opening doors for you. There could be somebody watching this that could open a door for you. So, and he went, and basically, when I had tried to give him some help, it turned in, there were about 5 posts going backwards and forwards. And I was trying not to be aggressive and I was trying to pull back, but everything I said got misinterpreted and attacked. But finally, I just went back to him and I said, look, your attitude stinks. If I was interviewing you for a job, you wouldn't stand a chance in hell of getting a job. Anybody watching this, you don't know who's watching this. This is a Facebook. There could be 100 people watching this. There could be somebody sitting in a business 2 streets away from you looking to employ somebody, and you might walk into their business tomorrow for an interview, and then he went into, oh, the world is discriminating against me, etc., etc., etc. So just to cut a long story short, just to get to the spiritual side of that, Spirit opens doors for you all the time. Spirit directed me to see that man because I am advertising for 2 jobs, and no, I wouldn't even think about interviewing him for the job, never mind offering him a job. And maybe he needed that lesson so that he could learn to be positive, to put his best foot forward, and to not attack people. Because by attacking people, he was putting out negative energy. And apart from the fact that anybody reading it was never going to help him because of the way that he was behaving, quite straightforward, negative energy gets negative energy coming back. We all have spiritual helpers, but they can only help the people that want to be helped and the people that are receptive to being helped. So the next time you go out into the street, the next time you say hello to somebody, just remember that might be the person that might be looking to employ you or your husband, or might have something that you need that you don't realize that you want. He might ask you to help somebody else that he knows you well enough to know that you could help that person. And by helping that person, Spirit might say, oh, you've done your good deed for this week. Now we're going to do a brilliant deed for you. It's called synchronicity. It's one of the 3 spiritual powers. Synchronicity, mediumship, which is what you're seeing tonight, and the third one is spiritual healing, which I don't do. Anyway, enough of the lecture. Let's get to work. Now, my brilliant wife has chosen the first reading, and I'm coming to RC. She's already told Kaz that I'm coming to her. So, Kaz McLean. Kaz, give me a few seconds. You're the first one I'm giving the reading to, so let me open up. You know the way this works. Kaz is one of our regulars, by the way. Kaz, I've got a very funny feeling in my hands. Somebody in spirit that either works with their hands or had a problem with their hands. It's a woman. I know we were talking about my wife doing the toilet seat, but yeah, it's a woman who had a. I get the feeling she worked with her hands. Actually, I think there's a common theme here tonight. I don't think she had. She may. It's maybe both. A woman that actually worked with her hands. She's very butch for a woman. Tomboyish for a woman. Definitely a worker. You know, get down into the grits. I don't know if she actually worked with her hands. I don't know if I would say she was a toolman, but she's certainly a hard worker. Uh, uh, yeah, she works with her hands. I would say she's. I think you knew her when she was in her 40s. I don't know if she passed when she was in her 40s, but you definitely knew her when she was in her 40s. So, Kaz, are you still with me? Does any of this make sense to you, Kaz? Can you recognize this woman? I get the feeling she had hair in a ponytail as well. Maybe hair down to about here, but she sort of pulled it back. Again, it going back to this sort of working, and again, my hands. I'm putting my hands up like this. It's definitely. It's definitely her hands that she's drawing attention to, Kaz. So, Kaz, are you still with me? Oh, sorry, Kaz, I see it. Sorry, I was being distracted by all the talk. Right, Kaz. So we know who we've got then. Let's see why she's come forward. She's showing me a plank. You know the pirate movies. You know where. Kaz, you know the old, the old-fashioned sort of Errol Flynn pirate movies where they capture the ship and the pirate or whoever gets to walk out on the plank and falls into the sea. Now, this is symbolic. Unless you've been in a musical or a play where you've played the pirate or this woman played the pirate, I think this is symbolic. Do you feel you're in a situation? Yeah, she's telling me it is symbolic. You're in a situation just now. I think it's work related actually, where you feel you're being put in a situation where, again, it's my hands. You're having to walk, or you're being forced to walk out into the plank. And you know that if you keep walking along the plank, as you walk along the plank, the situation, the plank, that's the plank. And as you walk along it, it's bending like that. And you know that sooner or later you're going to fall off the plank into the sea. Can you take that? Do you recognize the situation that this is describing for you, Kaz? It may not be work related, it just feels work related. So, Kaz, do you recognize this? Can you accept that? So, Kaz, I'm saying you. Okay, so Kaz, right. Is that the person you're recognizing, Kaz, or is that the situation? You know the way this works. You've got to be specific. Don't leave me hanging here because it takes time. So, Kaz, I'm going to say that I'm going to accept that as you recognizing the situation that you're in. So let's see what she's saying about it. Kaz, it's very straightforward. You've to walk along the plank, and when you get to the end of the plank, jump. Because remember, I was talking about doors opening. That was actually very specific for you. When you walk along this plank, and when you take the gut reaction just to keep walking and fall, a door is going to open that's going to surprise you. So Kaz, okay, Kaz, you recognize the person, right? So I don't know if you can recognize this situation. Maybe it's a situation you don't realize you're in. Maybe it's a situation coming. But when it comes, when you can understand the situation that I'm talking about, this woman is simply saying, just keep walking, take the plunge, even though it looks like a suicidal jump off the other end, because a door is going to be open for you. So basically, just take the plunge and open the door. Now, I'm just going to take a few seconds. I normally don't like doing this. Barbie Steiner, I know you're new. I've seen all your comments. I don't work this way. I'm going to be absolutely direct, and I'm speaking to you directly, Barbie. Your name is in the box. Ying assures me you've got an equal chance with everybody else of getting a message. I usually get around everyone. It's very rare that I don't get around everyone. You see that I'm keeping the messages short. So please just sit, be patient. When I get to you, I get to you. When I don't get to you, or if I don't get to you, it's not us. It's not us. Call it random, or call it spirit that guides my wife's hands. It works every week. Just be with us. So I see you're saying okay. Thank you. Now, coming to Tony Hannon. Tony, if you're still with us, Tony. So Tony, I've got can you take someone with Alzheimer's or dementia, Tony? Tony, can you take a man that's got Alzheimer's? This is a man that passed into spirit. Before he passed, he was suffering from Alzheimer's. Very elderly, very, very ill. If he's at the moment, all I'm getting is just the total confusion that he showed. Okay, so I'm taking that again, Tony. Again, to everybody, please don't give me straight yeses or nos. Give me yes, you can take the man. Yes, you can take the Alzheimer's. Because when I just get a generic yes, I have to assume that you're saying yes to everything. So I'm assuming that you're taking the man with the Alzheimer's. Okay, let me see what he's got to say for you. Tony, I think this is a message for your wife from this man. So, Tony, did your wife care for this man when he was alive? Can you understand your wife caring for this man, Tony? So, Tony, can you understand your wife or a woman very, very close to you caring for this man? I've got two yeses. Give me a yes, caring, yes. Okay. So I'm going to take that as a yes. It's a double message. It's for you to keep up your strength, because you need that, don't you? Very, very much keep up your strength. And a thank you to your wife or your mum, your Amy mum, whoever that is. And something about a neck. Tony, do you have a sore neck at the moment? Or have you been straining your neck? You know, suddenly my hand is going up to my neck. Can you understand that? So, Tony, can you understand that? Again, I don't think it's something you need to run to the doctor about. It's just you've been sitting or pushing yourself too hard with the neck. Does that make sense, Tony? So, Tony, and your shoulder, both shoulders. My neck and my shoulders suddenly just want to ache. Can you understand that, Tony? So, Tony, can you understand an aching neck and shoulders? Give me a yes, pain, yes, neck, something, so I know if I've interpreted this the right way. Is it you that's got the pain in your shoulders? I think it's more the shoulders actually than the neck. It's sort of like the top or back of the shoulders. So, Tony, can you understand that? Okay, Tony, I'm not getting any feedback from you. So basically, I think it's just a do some exercise or don't do whatever it is you've been doing. Yeah, my attention's been drawn to this chair. Yeah, you can take the neck. Okay. Have a look at the chair you're sitting in because my attention got drawn to this chair. Back in June, it was my birthday, and I treated myself, or rather, Ying allowed me to treat myself. You know the way it is. The wife takes credit for everything. And she did actually assemble it. So I'll say thank you to her again. Remember, I said that she was the one that did the assemblies in the house. I wasn't joking. So basically, I paid for it, but she assembled it. And it worked wonders when I'm sitting here all day. So maybe have a look at the chair you're sitting in. Just figure out what's causing the pain in the neck and change your routine. I'll leave you with that. Right, coming to Barbie Steiner. So, Barbie, I've got a woman coming forward. Very similar personality to yourself, very impatient. Her impatience was 5 times worse than yours. She's actually showing me, I don't know if this is just character or if this is literal, but she's foaming at the mouth. I think it's symbolic. I don't think it's literal. But she's gritting her teeth and she can't stand still. She can't wait. She's not somebody that would stand in a queue. She would, if she was in the bus queue, this is very un-British, she would push her way to the front and get on the bus front. That may be literal. I think she's quite elderly when she passed. I'm seeing her quite thin, quite short as well. Thin and short, curly hair, and she's got a heavy overcoat. And I think she might look small because of the heavy overcoat. Can you recognize this woman? So, Barbie, can you recognize this woman? So, Barbie, can you recognize this woman? Barbie Steiner, can you recognize this woman from Spirit? She's short, wearing a heavy coat, very, very good. Okay, right. So we know who we've got. Now, remember, folks, I said just give me a yes. Give me yes, woman, yes, personality. But if you just give me a yes, I'm just going to take it that you're accepting everything. Not asking you to give me more information, Barbie, just to give me yes, you recognize the woman, etc. But okay, we've got your grandmother. You're involved in something just now. Are you having boyfriend issues or girlfriend issues? I know you told us that you lost your husband earlier, but are you in a relationship just now? Okay. Then I want you to identify a man close to you just now. A man close to you, a man on the earthly plane, short black hair, somewhere around you just now. It may not be a partner. You may not be aware of who this man is, but look out for him. I think you know him. It may not be your friend. It may not be. It may be a friend. It may be a relation. It may be somebody at work. A man in his 30s, Short black hair. I get the feeling he's like he's very professional, very clean cut. Tie, shirt, suit. I mean, I know most of us aren't working in an office just now. Right. Okay. So you've identified who he is. I don't know if your grandmother is trying to push you towards this man because he can help you or because there's a potential relationship. My first gut feeling was it was a relationship. Obviously, I got that wrong, but that was me that was interpreting what your grandmother was doing. But for some reason, you have to get closer to this man. If it's not a relationship, then this man can help you in some way, maybe counsel you, maybe give you some practical help. I don't know. But your grandmother is very, very much, she's actually getting quite frustrated that you yourself are not. It's almost as though it's almost as though you know who the man is, but you're holding back from connecting with him for some reason. It may be the loss that you're feeling for your husband. I don't know. But you can see that I'm keeping these messages short. These are not private messages, so I don't have enough time to get into it in any depth. I'm going to have to leave you to interpret the details, fit it together. But your grandmother is pushing you towards this man, either for a relationship or because the man can help you in some way. It may be counseling, it may be practical. I'm going to leave it at that, Barbie. Right, coming to Alan Berwick. Oh, and just a quick message to everybody that's had a message. Please, if you get a message, stay till the end. There's a very simple reason for that. It's not because I'm trying to build up, oh, I've got my fans looking at me. It's because we're trying to do this as close to church conditions as possible. Just so you know my background, I used to work on 2 church platforms a month before the lockdown. Since the lockdown, I started doing these broadcasts. Having the people here helps to generate the energy, which helps the spirit to come forward. So if you get a message, please stay to the end. Please don't, I've got my message and go away. It really does help me to work. It helps the spirit to come through. So Alan, sorry for that distraction. Coming for Alan, who his wife, I think, is telling us that Alan's here. Okay, Alan. Alan, can you take a man in spirit who's saying, I'm only getting one word from him, brother. Either your brother or... Alan, can you take either a brother in spirit or an uncle? He's definitely saying the word brother. Or if it's not brother, it's brotherly. My gut feeling is still to go with your brother. So, Alan, can you take a brother in spirit or an uncle or a good friend that would be so close you would describe him as a brother? He's similar age to yourself, maybe slightly older, but not a lot. Short hair, similar color to mine, actually. I think we're going for brown hair. Find it difficult to place an age on him, actually. Still very, very much saying brother. If he's not your brother, he's somebody that you felt brotherly with, or an uncle, like your father or mother's brother. It's definitely one of those 3. Your brother, somebody close to you that you would identify with brotherly love, or your mother or father's brother. So, Alan, does any of this make sense to you? Can you accept this? Okay, so it's brotherly. I knew there was a brother in there somewhere. Okay. Alan, have you been using a hammer recently? Literally using a hammer and nails. And have you either hit yourself or have you hit something and broken it? I get the feeling if it's not a hammer, it's very close to a hammer. Please don't tell me it was Aileen with the hammer. Please don't tell me I've misinterpreted it like that, like I did with Ying. So, Alan, I get the feeling you've been working with a hammer in the recent past, and you've caused damage with it. You've either hurt yourself, you've broken something, or you've done something to annoy somebody with it, like noise, damage, wrong time of the day. Does any of that make sense to you? Alan, can you take working with the hammer? So, Aileen, can you speak to Alan for us? So, I think we've got a long time delay tonight. Just give me a quick. Right, Ying's just shouting in that we've got a 20-second delay. Okay. I hate when they do that to me, when they give me something that accurate. Right, let's see what he's got to say about it. He's drawing attention to my back, like sweat, not a sore back, a sweaty back. So, Alan, again with the hammer, were you sweating when you were doing it? So, Alan, I get the feeling, yeah, I'll give you a few seconds. I'm trying to make sense of this. Basically, I think the hammer itself is just symbolic. You've been working too hard and you need to step back. You need to slow down. You need to, like the sweat, the hammer, the damage, just slow down. Right, now, what's the no to, Aileen? Alan, what was the no to? You're saying, yes, you can take the hammer. Is that no to the sweat? I think that's the sweat. So I'm just going to leave you with a message, Alan. You have to slow down. I think the hammer's symbolic. You have to very, very much slow down. It may be you have to stop hammering. I may be misinterpreting the hammer. So I'll leave you with that to work out which one it is. Either stop working with the hammer or slow down, and or both. Spirits sometimes give messages like that. Okay, coming to Cheryl Lee. So Cheryl, I have okay. Okay, thanks, Aileen. It's always nice to get feedback, people. Okay, so Cheryl, it's definitely a 20-second delay on tonight. Cheryl, I've got somebody. No, I don't have somebody. I've got a dog coming forward. I'm not good with dog breeds, so I'm not going to try and guess at the breed of the dog. All I'm going to say is one word: scruffy. So, Cheryl, can you take in spirit a scruffy dog? Can you take a scruffy dog in spirit? I don't know if this is your dog or if this is a dog to identify someone in spirit, but if it's not your dog, maybe think a wee bit wider. Maybe think back. So, Cheryl, can you understand a scruffy dog? Okay, so thanks for the feedback, Cheryl. Just very simple. I've got the dog here, very happy, sitting, wagging his tail. He's actually, I was going to say he's beside me. He's not. He's beside you just now. So just shut your eyes and just feel the love coming from that animal. He just wants you to know that he's with you. Wonderful animal, just oozing love. I'm just going to call him Scruffy because that's all I can get from him. Did you call him Scruffy? Was that his nickname? Did you call him Scruffy? Because that's what I'm getting. Just Scruffy the dog. So I'm just going to leave you with that, Cheryl. Your dog is with you. He's always with you. And he just wants you to know. Okay, coming to Katie Brine Twiddale. Katie. So Katie, and you can see that's my wife just backing up the request for don't give me yes or no's, say what you're saying yes or no to. Seriously, folks, with a 20-second delay, waiting for a yes or a no, and then having another 20-second delay to get clarification, it makes working very difficult and it causes delays. And the net result of that is I can give less messages. So please read the words from Ying. So Katie, I've got a woman coming forward that likes cats. I've not got a cat, so I've got a woman that either kept a cat or liked cats. Same feelings I was getting with the dog, but this time it is the woman. So, Katie, I've got a woman coming forward. I think she was quite elderly. I don't think you were related to her, but I think you were close to her. But heavy emphasis that she loves cats. It may be one cat that she loved. It may just be that I'm picking up the one cat. But Katie, can you give me some feedback? Can you accept this woman in spirit that was a cat lover? She's quite elderly, wearing a hat with a pin in it, a hat with a hat pin in it. I get the feel, I mean, when I say she loves cats, if you went to visit this woman in the house, there would be cat hairs everywhere. So Katie, can you recognize this woman? Can you recognize a woman in spirit now who is a massive cat lover? May have been one cat that she obsessed over, or it may have been lots of cats. I'm sorry. All I'm getting is just the total devotion to her cats. So, Katie, are you still with us? Okay, so Katie, stay with me for the moment, but everyone, I'm going to open this up. So I'm doing an open message. I've got a woman, quite elderly, so quite elderly when she passed. What I'm getting is just a total devotion either to a cat or to cats. Can anyone recognize this woman in spirit? I'm not asking if people love cats, Sharon. I'm asking if you can recognize a woman in spirit, a woman who's come forward and her prime, I'm going to say obsession. It's not just liking and loving cats. I mean, she was obsessed either with one cat or cats. Like I say, the image that she's giving me is you go into this woman's house, you sit down on her settee, and you have to brush the cat hairs away. There are so many cat hairs away, you want to choke on them. Very, very much. It's not just like one cat that goes out and in. There are cats' hairs everywhere. So can anybody recognize, before I ask the spirit to step back, can anyone recognize this woman? Okay, nobody's claimed this woman, so I'm going to ask her to step back. Okay, so Katie, I'm coming back to you, Katie. So Katie, Katie, I've got a man coming forward. Age-wise, I would say middle-aged. Now, that could be anything from late 30s to early 50s. I know technically 50s beyond middle age, but I'm in my 50s, so come on, let me say I'm middle-aged. Quite scruffy. A man who passed in his middle ages, but he was middle-aged when he passed, and he's very, very scruffy. Clothes, hair, maybe even unshaven at times. Dirty glasses, very, very much. I don't think he was. I mean, I don't think we're talking about. We're not talking about somebody that wasn't clean. That's not the feeling I'm getting. Just that you would, everybody, including you, when you knew this man, you would describe him as scruffy. I know that's the same word I used to describe the dog earlier. But this is a man. I get the feeling he's making me feel as though he's poor. I don't think it's financially poor. This is his character he's describing. When he was alive, he always felt sorry for himself. Again, going back to the spiritual message I gave at the beginning, like the man I described, I'm not saying this man was the same as the man I was describing earlier in the address I did, but similar description. He's scruffy, and he feels sorry for himself. He feels as though I don't think he was poor, but he feels poor. Like, remember I said doors being opened? This man would say that doors were never opened. Doors were slammed in his face. So, Katie, can you recognize this man? Katie, can you recognize this man that I'm describing? So, Katie, I know we've got a 20-second delay here, but can you just give me a quick, can you recognize this man or not? Right, Katie, if you can't get back to me pretty quickly, I'm going to move on to somebody else. So, Katie, can you recognize this man? Okay. I'm sorry, Katie. I'm going to have to move on because that's twice I've tried to give you a message. I'm really sorry. I'm not going to do another open message. I'm going to ask this man to step back. Okay, so coming to Sharon Elaine Jackson. Sharon. Sharon, I've got somebody before they passed that had deep breathing problems. I don't know if this is a smoker that's maybe given up and had breathing problems towards the end. I think it's a man that had, I almost can't breathe actually, severe breathing problems. A man with severe breathing problems before he passed. So Sharon, can you take a man in spirit with severe breathing problems? I mean, you can see the way I really am having to gasp for breath. Okay, Donna, I'll come back to you in a minute. So, Sharon, can you understand a man who passed with severe breathing issues? So this is a man. Okay, thank you. Okay. It's almost as though he wants to say something to you, but he's scared. Literally. If he was alive, there's something that you're doing or not doing, he's not giving me any details about what he wants to talk about. He says you'll know what he wants to talk about. And he wants to tell you to do something or stop doing something, but it's almost as though it's something that you feel tied up in or is important, and you know that he would say don't do it or don't get involved. And that's, maybe I'm misinterpreting the feelings. Maybe he would say that to you, but he knows how you would react if he said this to you. But he's basically saying that you yourself know that you have to pull out of whatever it is. It's definitely pull out. It's like you're in a situation or you're doing something. I can't work out which, but it's definitely an activity or a situation that you're actively involved in that you have to pull out. Okay, well, it's just a direct message from him, Sharon. For your own good, you have to pull out of it. Whatever it is that you think's important, and remember, this is just his opinion. It's not a divinely message saying, you're an evil person or anything like that. Don't take me out of context. I'm just pointing out that this is just this person's opinion. You're entitled to your opinion, but he is very firmly telling you to pull out of the situation. So I'm going to leave you with that, Sharon. Right, coming to Jason Harlan. So, Jason. Somebody that I don't know how to work. I don't know how to explain the way that this man is making me feel. Can you take a relation who you didn't speak to or who didn't speak to you? Total, when he was alive, there was just a total blank. He literally didn't speak. Either you didn't speak to him or he didn't speak to you. Maybe it was the two of you. And he passed before you had an opportunity. So, Jason, can you understand a man who's passed into spirit? It's just a complete silence. Like the two of you could be at a family gathering or a Christmas party, and you could sit next to each other. It's not hatred. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I don't even think it's a family dispute. But you just literally would not speak to each other. Okay, so I'm going to take it from that, Jason, that you understand who I'm talking about. Okay. He feels the same way. He feels, and he's got so much to say to you. So much regret. And it's two-sided. It's regret that he didn't say to you, and it's also regret that you didn't say things to him. Now, I'm not advertising for business here, so this is not me saying come and get a private reading from me. But Jason, I don't have time to go into the depth that this man wants to go into. So find yourself a medium that you like. I'm happy if you want to come to me, but you know that I charge for private readings. So like I say, I'm not advertising for the business, but find yourself a medium that you know, you like, you trust, and give this man the opportunity, because he's got so much to say and you've got so much to say to him. Like I say, I'm sorry, but I don't have the time to go into the depth here, but this is not a private reading, and also it's a public broadcast, and I don't think you want a lot of this broadcast. So I'm going to leave the man just with a direct message that he wants to have a conversation with you. Okay, like I say, Jason, I wasn't advertising for the business, but he does want to have a long conversation with you. Okay. Coming to Denise Curry. Denise Curry. So Denise Curry. Denise, I've got Denise, he's here. It's you I'm coming to, Denise. Okay, Denise, this is definitely for you, not whoever he is. Denise, I've got a woman coming forward, quite elderly. I don't think she suffered from Alzheimer's when she passed, but she was certainly confused towards the end. I think we're talking days or weeks. Like I say, I don't think we're talking Alzheimer's. Maybe she was confused all the time, but it's not meant. Obviously, confusion is mental. It's not mental illness. It's not learning difficulties or anything like that. But everything about her is confusing. It's personality-wise. And she's putting the name in my head. Now, I don't think this is her name. I think this is a description. Busy Lizzie. Or it's the way that people would describe her. It's a name we've got for people in Scotland, Busy Lizzie. It's basically somebody that's really busy, sticking their nose into everybody's business. You see my hands that are going like this. This is her. This is her personality. She would never stop. It would be never stop. Total busy, 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 busy. So, Denise, can you recognize this woman? Can you understand who I'm talking about, Denise? I'm getting close to the end, people. So I'm trying to do this fast. I'm trying to speed it up a wee bit. So, Denise, can you recognize this woman? So, Denise, can you understand the woman, the anacrim Busy Lizzie? That may be a description of personality. It may be her name. But like I say, my hands want to go constantly. She's non-stop and confusion. I don't think, okay, thank you, Denise. Like I say, people, we've got quite a time delay. Okay. Direct message for you. Just one word. And I don't know what it means. Yes. Either you've been asking a question, you've been asking permission, you've been asking about something. And remember, this is her opinion. This is not some sort of divine intervention. Obviously, it's a spiritual intervention. But the answer for you is yes. So, Denise, I've no idea what the yes is to. It's very personal. Like I say, even just trying to connect with her, it's confusing. You can see my hand, even my hand's not stopping. She's just like that. The answer for you is yes. I hope that makes sense for you. I hope that makes sense. Denise, I'm going to leave you with that.
Last message.
Okay, so everyone, this is going to be my last message. We will be doing a prayer at the end, and I'll put the website up for the open circle if anybody wants to come to it. Cheryl, coming to Cheryl. Cheryl, I've got a man coming forward. Cheryl, I've got a man coming forward. A man who he died suddenly, just like that. 1 minute he was here, the next minute he was gone. Maybe a heart attack. Not 100% sure it was a heart attack. But definitely, thanks for the acknowledgement, Denise. But definitely somebody who Cheryl, definitely somebody a man who passed suddenly. I mean, it's quite literally 1 minute he was here, the next minute he was gone. I get the feeling it was a sudden death. It might have been an accident, but I don't think, like I say, this is the last message and I'm trying to wrap things up at the same time. But I'm still feeling it's a heart attack. So can you take a man in spirit that passed with a heart attack? So Cheryl Hanlon, I know we've got a 20-second delay. Can you take a man in spirit that passed either suddenly, like I said, it's like that, or he had a heart attack? But again, even with the heart attack, I don't think we're talking. It was either a very severe heart attack if he lived through it, which basically led to him dying eventually, or he died of the heart attack. I'm more inclined to say he died of the heart attack. So Cheryl, can you take a man who passed with a heart attack? I don't think you're still with us, Cheryl. So it's what I said at the beginning, people. Don't leave, because your name goes in the box. And your name, if it comes out at the end, we've got no control of the order they come out in. I promise you, everybody's random. So
Mr. Hallen's wife.
Okay. Okay. Jason, thank you for that. Okay, so we know that Cheryl's still here, and we know that who we've got. Thank you, Jason. Okay, so let's see what the man has to say. Any old excuse. Spirit will intervene. Oh, yes. Actually, that is his message. Cheryl, is this a blood uncle? Cheryl, very direct message for you. Look after yourself. Now, I do not diagnose, so be absolutely clear. I am not saying you've got a heart problem, but he is very concerned about the way that you're leading your life. It may be that you're aware of it. It may be just circumstances, but just be very, very careful, because he's very concerned that you're overdoing things. Maybe, yeah. So we're talking genetics here. Okay, thanks for the feedback. Definitely look after yourself. Like I say, Cheryl, I do not diagnose. I'm not qualified to do that. I can only give you the message that Spirit is giving. And I'm not saying you've got a heart condition. Do not misinterpret what I'm saying. Okay, so we're only giving evidence of what's already being given. So your uncle is very, very concerned about you. Cheryl, take the treatment. Whatever the doctor says, do. Do not brush this away. Like I say, I'm not diagnosing you. You've already had a diagnosis. You're only getting confirmation from your uncle. You're just giving me confirmation that I'm not diagnosing. So thank you for that, Jason. Cheryl, Jason, look after her. So Jason, that's a thank you for you. That's a direct message for you as well. Look after your wife, Cheryl. Look after yourself. Take extreme care. Do not miss. I'm repeating myself, but just basically don't ignore anything that you're being told. Okay, people. So as you can see, that was the last message. If you would like to experience an open circle, only if you've never been to one of my circles before, go to that website. It says 9:10, but 9:15, 9:20. I will then send you the link for Zoom. It's an open circle. That's basically where you learn to do what I've just been doing for the last hour. You might get a reading, you might be asked to give a reading, but I'll take you through how it actually works. If you don't want to come, that's fine. Other than that, I'm going to ask everybody, as I said before, please have a look at my website. If you don't like it, give me some feedback. If you do want to book a reading, you can do it from there. I'm going to close in a prayer, and then I'm going to play some music at the end, where again, I will also put up the website in the closing music. So if everyone would please like to join me in a prayer. And again, I'm going to put up a video. So, dear Father, Mother, Spirit, thank you very much for bringing us together. Thank you for opening the doors. Thank you for the messages. Please take our energy tonight, put it together. There's so much in the world, so much that goes wrong, so many mistakes. Please use that energy to heal someone, to help someone, to cure someone. Just use the energy where it can do the most good. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Amen. Sorry, that was the wrong one. So this is the right one. Okay, just to end the video, I did see somebody putting a message up there saying that they were here for 3 weeks and hadn't got a message. I did explain at the beginning, we only do this for an hour. We try and give as many messages as possible. It's purely random. Come back next week or, excuse me, book me for a private reading. Other than that, if you want to come to the circle, you've got 10 to 15 minutes to register. Have a nice night.